Okay, so what we're talking about is rate cards. And so what I'm telling you is if I look at my clients, I have 5 major clients, right? Mm-hmm. I have the careerist. This is your 9-to-5 person who wants to climb the corporate ladder. And it says, make climbing the corporate ladder a breeze with spunk. Be smart and confident about it, as low as $150 a month. That's so specific because I want them to feel, first of all, like it's not going to be too hard because they already have a full-time job, right?
Right.
So if they're going to climb the corporate ladder, I can help them with that because there's going to be political backdrops. There's going to be all kinds of things that happen in an office. Mm-hmm. When they're trying to climb the corporate ladder, there's positions that come open. There's maneuvering. There's doing your best every day and making sure you're in that leadership role so you are the one that's considered for that job. But it also takes a lot of coaching because sometimes people don't realize, first of all, how much they have to offer. So when something comes open, they're scared to put their foot forward and say, hey, I think I'm good for that job because this. One thing I do is help with that motivation, help them have a checklist on a monthly basis of what they've accomplished that month, and look at what's going on in their departments or in their company where they can shine. Maybe they do a little bit of extra work or they volunteer and do things like that. Those type of things speak volumes when they're looking for their next position.
Right.
So that package is for that person, that woman that's wanting to climb. She's wanting to climb the corporate ladder, but she wants to be breezy. Like, how do I do that? I've got spunk. I want that job.
Right.
Help me get it.
And what I really like the way what you have on your rate card is how clear it is for somebody to open it up and be able to read it and know what they want. So now we got to work on how we make mine.
Right. So let's talk about that. So let's go back over to that.
Okay.
And so what I see is on your first option, you have 4, I have 5, so it's very similar. You have who you are and what you're all about. I do too. Global Girl Life Consulting, the life you deserve. Natalie the Muse, and then what's your phrase?
Have faith, be focused, stay fly.
That's right. We're being fly right now.
Right.
So the next thing that you have is influencer, consultant, event coordinator, speaker. You got 4 options for them to choose from if they want to book Natalie the Muse. This is how they can do it. So as an influencer, that's going to be your first package. So on influencer down here, you tell me which one of these that you have and tell me why the influencer package is what it is. And let's talk about that for the option 1 on your rate card.
Okay. So the influencer, I know we had discussed moving, conversations, table talks, and facilitation. And under those subjects, there's strategy and execution. So that's not consulting in reference to me working one-on-one with someone. And that's not project. That's me coming to a team and doing a presentation on what people need to establish their pillars of success, their initiatives, outlining the SWOT analysis. It's really pretty much the 6 steps to getting results. And so I do strategic implementation, getting results, performance, getting results, and then processes, getting results. Okay. And that's in a presentation form for probably about an hour.
Perfect. So basically this rate card, if you put this in option 1 and call it the influencer package instead of calling it conversations, table talks, and facilitation, that can be the tagline under influencer.
Okay.
Right? So you still want to have a descriptor. You want there to be something there. The careerist is my title.
All right.
And then under it, my descriptor is make climbing the corporate ladder a breeze. So yours is going to be influencer, conversations, table talks, and facilitation. Then under there, I love how you have the buttons because it's very clear on what types of things that you do. Think about it as a web page. If I click on that, what does it open up? Do I have that list of things that you just said somewhere in this package? I'm sure I do. You're so thorough.
Right. On the under the services, it has, you can click on event planner, and then you can click on strategic planner. It shows it and breaks down event planner, strategic planner, and conversation, table talks, and facilitation.
Perfect. So the only thing that I would change there is I would make this phrase here, this paragraph, a little bit less wordy, and I would make your price at the top. So if you have influencer, and you like to say as low as $350 or starting at $350, influencer packages starting at $350. I'm drawn to that immediately. Now I see at the top, the tagline is influencer package as low as $350 or starting at $350. I know I can afford that, and I know I need an influencer, so now I'm going to read more. Now I'm going to say, what do I get for $350? Okay. That's where you want them. They want to be drawn in. So that those first bold, book Natalie the Muse, influencer, conversations, table talks, facilitation, starting at $350. I'm drawn in. I want to know what those table talks are. I want to know how conversations are going to help me How are you going to influence me through a conversation? I want to know.
Right.
So now I want to click on something. I want to call you. I want to do something. I've got a call to action. Where's my call to action, right? So you've got book Natalie the Muse. That's your call to action first.
Right.
So maybe at the end of this one, do you want them to email you? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to click here and get more information? Whichever one of those things that you want, just put that right there and they're going to do it.
So I should put, I know I have Let's Connect today right here. So I should move that under each one?
You want at least 3 calls to action on one page. So
okay.
Different people see different things.
Okay.
So I might see this, if I already have talked to you in person, for instance, but you're going to give me the same rate card, I'm looking for your number and I'm like, oh yeah, she was the one that had the influencer package. How do I call her? I might not see it over here, but I definitely see your Twitter, your Instagram, and your LinkedIn, and there I see your phone number right there. So I'm the kind of person that wants to call you.
Right.
I know the phone number's there. If I want to email you, I see the email address. And if I want to catch you on, Twitter or Instagram, I see I can just hit you up and send you a message through that. That's great. I would always have that contact information somewhere that's visible. And you can see on mine, look, I don't have it. The reason I don't is because I send this while I'm talking to them.
Okay.
I'm on the phone with them when I send this at that point. So you have to think about also, when are you presenting this rate card? Is it multifunction? Do you take it with you and keep it in your purse and hand out envelopes with just your name on them? Or say the Muse, call me now.
Right.
It has this rate card in it. Do you keep this online in your drive and you pull people in as a conversation from social media and they are on a phone with you and you send them to them or upload it to Google Docs? Mm-hmm. How are you managing this sheet? And that's where you put the contact information. So with me, I don't release this to everybody. This is only after they've come through my funnel.
Okay.
And they have either word of mouth gotten a referral to me. They have gone to my page on Calendly where they've booked a 30-minute session. Somehow they've contacted me personally, and then I release this card because I don't put this out everywhere.
So would you recommend, I would have the same card, but would you recommend they get the information after they go through Calendly or spoken to you, and then after a 30-minute session, or automatically sending this out as like a sales thing, like you have a group of people that you want to like communicate with, hey, or should I just send my information speaker sheet and then they call me and then we talk and then I send the rate card?
I think it's important to break down who your target market is, and once we break down who your target market is, we'll know at which point we're going to send this sheet out, and then this can be refined to that market. Right. For instance, you have a potential client who has a janitorial service, and what was the other thing that she owned or she was just starting up?
Janitorial and booking tours.
Booking tours, okay. So if she has 2 different businesses, keep her in mind. The most important thing through this whole thing, let's just do one thing at a time. So let's design this rate card around her. Okay. Let's make every part of your influencer, your consultant, your event coordination, and your speaker. How do you help that one person? You know her, you've seen her, you've talked to her, you've got a little bit of insight of what she needs. So while we're going through this process for this purpose only, I want you to think about when she sees this, what is she going to read and how is she going to feel? Is she going to want to feel compelled to hire you?
That's a good point. And the reason why it's a good point, Shannon, is because when I was in radio, we would do the same thing. Okay. You know what I mean? So basically you want to get to know that business. Do you have any tools for success when it comes to like doing a client's needs analysis? Best questions to ask. So then when you develop the rate card specifically for that client, you answer the questions that they've already answered in your conversation or
great question
through pulling up.
Of course I do. So what I do is I have a process already of the way that I lead people into consulting, because not everybody that calls you is perfect for you. Right. And vice versa. You're not perfect for them. Right. So not only do I have a referral process when I have somebody who comes to me who's not my demographic, my target market, I have a referral program for other consultants like you and other people that I refer to. But if they go through the funnel and they make it to the point where we've had a 30-minute free consultation verbally, that's where I talk with them for about 20 minutes. I let them talk and tell me where they are in their life, what they're looking for, what they think their goals are, or what they're sure their goals are. Right. Then I close out with about 10 minutes of conversation. I've listened to them. I've listened to what their challenges are, and I give them feedback on that and how I think I can help. Or if I can't, I say, I tell you what, I'm going to connect you with somebody who can. And so at that point, then the next step, I always say to my clients at the end of every call or the end of every session, whether it's email or Zoom or whatever that is, the next step here they are, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
So you always want to provide them with a guideline. I heard you say it earlier. You have a roadmap, or like I have a roadmap. I think you called it a strategy. You had a certain name for it. I don't remember quite what you said. It was an outline or guidance of some sort.
Strategy guide.
Perfect.
Right.
So you want to have a strategy guide moment at the end of every session you have with someone. And that could even be when you meet them for 5 or 6 minutes. You say, well, I'll tell you what, the next step is for you to get on the computer and book a session with me.
Okay.
It's a free session or whatever that might be for you. Or let me send you my rate card. That's the next step for us.
Yeah.
And you get that in their head of, oh, let me be thinking forward. Let me think ahead.
Right.
Because that's what people have the most trouble with is that planning part.
Yeah.
And we happen to have a skill set that they can use, and that's planning and strategy.
Yeah, planning. Yeah, strategy.
So in saying that, what I do at the next session, I say, okay, we've had our 30-minute free consultation, and here's what I think I can do for you. But what I want to do next is I want to send you the Google form that I have, and it's a questionnaire. Now, I have 2 of them. One is for this first package for the careerist. So if they're climbing the corporate ladder, I don't send them the same form that I send an entrepreneur, right? Because they are going to have different questions to ask and answer. And so my careerist form is a Google Doc, and I've led them through the questions of what's important in their career and in their personal life. How quickly do they want to rise through the corporate ladder? Is there already an opening, or have they hit the glass ceiling?
Right.
Like, what is it that's going on that's keeping them from their goals already? Could be self-sabotage. We have to drill down, and we have to think about what those things are.
Right.
So that questionnaire is designed for that. I keep it on Google Drive, and it's very convenient. I just basically put their email address, write a little simple note to them, and I send it out. That's the step 2. So I've talked to them 3 times now. The initial part where they've gotten to me, the part we've had our 30-minute session, and then I give them the form.
Okay.
Because you don't want to go further with them if they're not the right client for you, or you can't help them anymore. It's wasting both of your time.
That's right. Now for you, both of us are like people. So do you prefer,
like our peeps?
do you prefer do you prefer for people to get connected to you, or to just log online and fill out their information so then you can reach out to them? Or is your preferences like, I would rather talk to you first for 30 minutes before I even start sending you anything or reaching out to you?
Yes. So first of all, my preference is to always be one-on-one, but that's not possible. Some of my clients are in different countries.
Right.
So that's a challenge, right? But basically, I definitely want to hear their voice, and I want to be a part of listening very thoroughly to what their needs are before we go through any paperwork, because it's definitely going to waste both people's time. And what a lot of people that are my clients don't have a lot of time. That's why they're hiring me. They're like, I need to get from point A to point B quickly. Right. So I need for you to help me do that. How can you help me do that? And it's especially with entrepreneurs. The careerist is a little bit more drawn out, the package for that, but my entrepreneurs start next. So my side hustler is the careerist who wants to transfer into entrepreneur. So this is a path that maybe I'm thinking almost every woman that's just like me, and most women, they start out in one place in their life, but these packages lead a woman from
to that.
Yeah, from basically
so
going
I love
through school.
That. So it's like your strategy on here, that what you have, now that I'm looking at it, you're like, that's exactly what it is as I call it out. It's like, hey, there's me. I was a careerist.
Yep.
While I'm a careerist, hey, you know what? I'm a side hustler.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? I really love side hustling. Solopreneur.
Yep.
Forget all of this solopreneur, I need to go out, I need to live life. I need to start exploring. I'm going to be an adventurer.
Yep.
That's me. You know what? I'm done adventuring. I'm a global girl now.
Yep.
I'm traveling the world. I'm doing my thing. I've moved
and I'm
up.
using all that experience from every one of those paths in my life to be who I am. So my target market is people just like me, right? So it makes what I do so lovely. It's perfect for me. It's perfect for them because I have all the experience to lead them through that. One of my clients is actually an attorney, and she wanted to start her own fashion line. I won't go into specifics because it's actually not patented yet. So,
right.
But within 4 short months, she basically went from working her day job and hating it to basically getting to a point where she's going into production. She's got dimension. She's got the whole product line laid out, and now we're looking to source materials and product assembly for her.
Right.
And so she just graduated. We're very proud moment. Within 4 months, she went from a careerist to a side hustler. And I gave her a little kind of congratulatory bonus. And so we've got some other things going on. And she'll be a solopreneur before too long. I gave her 1 year. And the reason I gave her that much time is because of money. The thing that she wants to do, she needs to plan solid for, because she needs a higher budget than a lot of people do. Some people provide services like you and I, and services are a little bit easier to budget when you're becoming an entrepreneur. But when you have a product line, you have to have a lot of money.
Right.
So we might need investors. She may be able to do it herself if she works some extra time. Depending on what goes on, billable hours for her, she'll be able to manage that quicker or slower. But she loves to travel, so we did count some travel time in because we want to have some fun while we're doing it.
Right. Gotta have fun.
Yeah, so then if you look on the left side of what I've got, everything I showed her here, I gave her some insight. So this is kind of a secret when you look at it. It does have the prices, but there's a lot more to drill down into, but you still know what you want to click on or what you want to learn more about. When I told her that she had graduated to the Side Hustler package, this is what this sheet is about, even though people don't know it on the surface. Every month we go through a different topic in depth. So I gave her 12 months because I have a 12-month program. The first month is goals in January. She graduated in January. So basically, she's beginning my program at the right time. I never told her about it. I never rushed her into it. I didn't even tell her there was a Side Hustler package. I let her gradually get to that point as she was ready on her own. Yeah. And then I told her about this program, and now she's like, oh my God, so all your blogs are done with the way that you have the tone for the month, and now those are going to mean so much more to me, and they're at the right time of what I'm learning. This is great. So all that's been set up, but I don't tell people that because I want them to organically come to me and be ready for that.
And I think the biggest thing in being smart with sales is it's that connection of evolved. If people feel like they evolved, it's just like somebody who buys a car, their first car, you know, it may have, they may want to evolve into a SUV.
Right.
We start out with a 2-door, right?
Yeah.
We
got a coupe, sports coupe, yeah.
Yeah, SUV. Okay, well now I want a luxury sedan. I didn't know I was ready for a luxury sedan yet. Same thing with houses. You know what I mean? I started out by my first condo, right? Now I want to build a house.
That's right.
Now I want a vacation home.
That's why month 7 is level up, next level.
Yeah, month 7 is like, okay, it's getting real serious now. That's right. It's like, what do I really want to do? Because one thing about the careerist, when you wake up and realize that everything that you've been working towards, hey, you know what? I could run this myself.
That's right. I could do a better job.
I could do a whole lot.
That's
but
when you know.
I'm going to keep getting, this.
I like a paycheck. I like vacation
time. You keep looking at it, and then you can move into how you want to create your own lane. Of course, I believe in everybody having their own unique gifts and creating their lane in the gifts. Even if it's in an organization, we have to be committed to that. And then when it's time to branch that out, we do that. So that's really dope. It's a lot of stuff I have to look at and change.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, this is all about you. So I just wanted to show mine for examples because I've kind of put a lot of thought into this, and I'm still developing a lot. This will change, but not it won't change drastically because I've kind of pinpointed what's going on. Yeah. So I want to get you on the next one. So that we've talked about the influencer that you have at the top because you had the 4: influencer, consultant, event coordinator, and speaker. So the next option for people to see to book Natalie the Muse is consultant. Right. So now this next grayed out section that you have on your rate card should say consulting. Yeah. Now, what consulting can they get and for how much?
So this is where now you're putting this perspective. I feel like out of all of these, you get consulting. So with strategic planning, if it's a project or you want my feedback on, let's say you want me to look at how your team is performing. You want me to look at your KPIs and your data. And are you, in the moment that you're conducting these meetings, are you getting what you need to get out of these meetings to move your team forward? And is it effective percentage-wise to where you want to land initiative-wise? That's right. Right? So that's consulting, me talking to you. I'm going to look at the results last 3 months, that type of thing. But even with event planning, sometimes people want to create some type of launch brand event that will connect them, that will connect to the product or service they're trying to launch or
Makes
build
sense.
a reputation for.
Yes.
So the consulting could be, hey, I got this. Do you think this is a great idea? Should I book an entire 5-city tour?
Right.
Okay, well, let me look at that. Let me look at your reach. How many people are really like following you to where you book this 5-city tour?
And they're going to show up.
And they're going to show up and you're going to make money.
Right.
Do you have the content or the context of the people that's going to work with you? What is the nature of this tour? So that's me consulting, telling you like, okay, well, let's start here. As a matter of fact, let's start with a guide so you can organize this initiative, which kind of falls back into strategic planning. You know what I mean? But then now let's launch in the event planning. Do you want me to do it? Or do you want to do it?
That's right. So if it's me, I'm like, Natalie, I need you to plan this event. Here's the outcome I want.
Right.
Here's my budget. What else do you need?
Or do you want me to coach you through the process?
Right.
I'm meeting
people
with
on a budget.
I'm meeting with DJ. Should I get this kind of DJ, or I want this type of decor? Do I want
bright
this
flashy
look?
lights? Which
You know
venue
what I
am I
mean?
choosing? Yes.
What is that? So that's where when I feel like influencer and consultant kind of goes.
I think
together.
so. I think you're right on that. I think that maybe you should have a consultant in each section. You should have a consulting rate. So for instance, with me, you're going to have a consulting hourly rate to ask me what my needs are, and you're probably going to connect or do the other work too.
And then draw up the brand.
Yes.
And so you draw up the brand, and let's say it's an event that you want outside people coming to. Okay, we draw up the brand. How are we going to get these people here?
That's right.
Because the one thing I see with people and events, it's great. We have these big visions of like, yo, I'm going to bring this concert here. I'm going to bring this to the market, or I'm going to start a new live music thing, or I want to do a new happy hour.
Yeah.
Well, why would I want to go?
Right.
I got 5 other choices. Or you have a demo that a percentage of that demo only goes out so much. Why would those people on a Tuesday night want to show up? So that's building that, how much time it might take.
So what you want to do is go back to this sheet under event planning and put the 4 main services that or 3. 3s are better because you've already got 3 down here.
Right, yeah.
So you want to put 3 here.
Event planning.
So use the same, look, okay, you got your buttons here. Use the same buttons. Keep it, the format is consistent, so no matter which one they choose, they feel like it's an equal service to the other one. And also, that makes it very easy to read. When I see that light green, I think of you, because I don't know of anybody else that has that color. But also, I think, okay, well, that's the one. And then I'm a very visual person. Some people, like I said, when they're looking at your rate card, some people see things differently. Some people see text. Some people see photos. Some people see, just whatever you have highlighted. So you want to have a combination of those things in your rate card because you may be handing it out in person. It could be on a tabletop or it could be sent through email.
Got it.
So if you keep, your first section, have the 3 bullet points in this little button type area. Do the same thing for your second and so on.
And
so just keep the format exactly the same.
Yeah, and then to explain venue booking management, which I've done before, when somebody wants to turn their place into a book, they want to get more people to book it.
Yep.
They don't want to deal with the people. I'm the person, someone's like, hey, I want to book my baby shower.
Right.
I want to book my private event. I want to book my holiday party.
Okay.
The owner or whoever's there does not want to deal with that.
I actually have a client for you now that you just said that. Now that I know what that means,
it's like
I know I can connect you with someone.
Service is this is how much for me to draw up the contract. Okay. There's be a standard contract that has that venue's name in it.
Yep.
And then I get 15% of what that booking fee is. And so for that person, I act as a service to book it, take care of it. Listen, ma'am, you want your holiday party here. It's a 4-hour block at this time. This is your deposit.
Okay.
It comes with cleanup. It doesn't come with, we talk about what all is going to come up.
And you negotiate the contract as well?
Right.
Okay.
And I put the contract in, the owner, this is their price. You make the money out to here, and I take, you know what I mean?
Perfect.
That type of thing. So that's where that venue management, and then it's up to that client if they want any additional services from me.
Which is your hourly consulting, right?
Yeah, with my event planning. So if they're like, oh, yeah, I want to have this event, does this venue, that person could have a venue. They could say, yeah, we got to cook, we got to this, we got to this, we got to this. I just don't want to fool with it.
Right.
I'm the person that's gonna fool with it.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know
or
what I mean?
give you an outline and questions.
I
You can
do
do
it-
it yourself for a discounted
Right, I can tour them,
Yeah.
take them on the tour, show them what it has. This is the sink. Here's where you can cook if you want to set it up. So it's
That's
really
one-stop shop.
Yeah, and I can post for you. So if you want to,
Okay.
if we talk about it, you want to advertise it. You have people who have places and they're like, I want to do this, but I really don't want to spend it.
Well, I have a bar that's actually a potential client, and I can connect the two of you. And basically, they're looking for people to book writers' night.
Okay.
So I don't want to fool with that. That's not my niche, right? So, but I want to help them because that's something that eventually they're going to need my consulting services, and I want to be able to provide a service to them up front that's value added. If they call you and that works out, fantastic. We've got a referral network. So that's something else we were talking about is a referral network.
Yeah, that's why I say the installment service, that's me getting started post contract, and then everything based on the price you want. I take that percentage from everything that's booked.
So on the rate card, it needs to be simple and clean, and you just say venue booking management and with the bullet point, no price beside it. Then you have a separate sheet. When they call you or they're on the phone with you, you say, great, let me send you the checklist of services that I offer for venue booking management. You check which ones you're interested in, and they each have an a la carte price. But if you do a package deal of 3 or more, you get a discounted rate. And that discounted rate ends up being your $300 plus 15%. So you're probably going to offer 5 to 7 services for that amount. You may have listed 10. I'm not sure what that was. When you list that out, you just want to have a separate sheet that when you're talking with that person who's interested in only venue booking management, they're not interested in all the other stuff that you do. They can look at that one form, like when you go to a restaurant and they have a menu, but on the menu they have different sections: sandwiches, beverages. Your rate card needs to look similar to a menu for a restaurant.
Right.
So I'm at the right
thing.
place. I know I want Natalie the Muse. I just don't know what part of her I want today. So today I want the venue booking management. Can you tell me more about that? What's on that sandwich? Is it pickles, mustard, mayonnaise, XYZ, right?
Right.
So that's what I want to know. Now, I loved what she did for me. That adventure went off great, and I got 4 new clients from that. I had a whole bunch of happy people in Nashville that came. I'm super excited. What else does Natalie do? Let me go back to her rate card. Now, what else can I pull off of here? Let's see. Okay, wait. She's also a speaker. Well, what does that mean?
Right.
And how much is it? So then your next section, you're going to have 4 sections. Or maybe you just have the 3, and consulting is a part of those 3. 3 is good. 3 is a great number. 3, 5,
and
7,
so
odd
down
numbers.
here, these are my specified areas of speaking. Living the best life with purpose is pretty much the breakdown connection of my book, Have Faith, Be Focused, Stay Fly. So when you go to my website, it'll say Be Focused Techniques, health and well-being. Nice. And it'll also tell you about faithful services. Okay. So that kind of goes in. It's just like a topic, but this is like living the best life with purpose. It's kind of like the key, like, this is a motivational conference. We got women, we got men here who are like, I have a purpose, but I don't know how to serve that purpose in my job.
Right.
So we have faith, we be focused, we stay fly. I know how to do that. Work, play, wherever you want to go. It's the way you live life.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. So you would also have, if this is on your website, you're going to have a link to your book as well. Gotcha. Right. I think that's the way to do it then. So you've got everything for your need for your rate card. The only other thing to work on is do what we talked about earlier, but also the mission. So this mission, we want to clarify. Read that out loud. My mission is to speak and construct wholeness
that enhances any project, organization, or the mission-minded creatives whom I come in contact with to accelerate their vision.
Okay.
So I guess that's so in-depth.
It's a lot because I've already seen you're so dynamic. I'm seeing the dynamic
mission
view.
For me, anybody through strategic planning, through event planning, through conversation, everybody has something that may be broken, may not be whole, and they need to piece it together.
Yes.
I'm a person that brings that together, either restores it or elevates it. You have a vision of where you want Global Girl Life to go.
Oh yeah.
Right? So there's some missing pieces. We always have them. I bring that wholeness. It's in my heart to want. This is the heart of how I do things. So if someone came to me and they say, you know what, I'm launching this new initiative. I got a new product, new service, a new brand. Let's do it. We're selling t-shirts, but it's a movement. We're selling t-shirts and we want to donate to breast cancer. Right?
You've spoken to me. I have a client that's actually doing this very thing right now.
So, but
not breast cancer, but totally on a movement for the t-shirts.
I have it on paper. Natalie, who do I need to connect with to get this done in 6 months?
That's right.
How do I, what would be my first event? How many people do I need to get involved so I can get these t-shirts out, because I want to donate 40% of those t-shirts to fight breast cancer.
Love that.
So that's where the whole.
So tell me your process on how you figure that out. What does that look like for them? So what can they expect? So I'm really interested now because I do have a client who is going to need that service, and that's where I'm not, my expertise is not event planning. Right. I will show up and support you all day long, no matter what country you're in.
So
and I will get you to the point where you're ready. So you're going to have all the analytics all the way up to finding that vendor, negotiating the contract, getting the best price possible, making sure that the quality control is there. I'm on that end of it, and logistics.
So for me, just like you talk about that perfect client, I want to know their why.
Yep.
Why do you want to donate that amount of money to breast cancer? Why do you want to raise awareness?
Sure.
What is the personal connection to it?
Yep.
Because from there you can see how serious a person might be.
That's right.
Like, okay, that's why you want to do it. All right. What happens if you don't do this?
Yes. That's a valid question.
Are you going to be up?
Are you going to die?
Are you...
And
I'm not saying everybody's not going to, but I want to see that passion.
Yeah.
Because
you're high achievers, just like I do.
Exactly. And again, I want to construct wholeness.
That's right.
So if I'm going to give you my 120%, I want to know, like, are you solving somebody's problem and why you want to do this? That lets me know your level of dedication.
That's right.
For, transactions are important, but now we're going into like a relationship to create something. We're making a baby here. That's how I see
That's
event
right.
planning.
That is right.
We're creating something. So I'm going to ask those two questions first to see how serious it is. And then now let's look at your sphere of influence, and let's look at, okay, well, who do you have in mind to work with you?
Yep.
What are the type of people you want to work with?
I'm guessing that you also have your own resources to pull in and stuff like that.
Right.
So if they don't have a network and they're just, let's say the passion is someone in their close proximity was touched by breast cancer, and it changed their lives, and it changed the person's life that you're helping. And they feel so driven by it, but this is the first time they've ever taken anything like that on.
Right.
And they have no idea where to start. And also the only connections they have are friends and family and their church. And that's it.
Yeah.
They got nothing else.
We got to get out here, and I'm the person, okay, well, let's just work. You need sponsors.
Okay.
If you have that. Or you might be sponsored. Or who are you wanting to bring this awareness to? Like,
who can help?
Like you asked me my target demo. I'm going to ask them, what is your target demo? If you don't have a target demo, okay, well, let's just talk about why the t-shirts. If there's a brand, you probably have some phrases. Okay, well, who are the people who respond to these phrases, or who like those phrases? Where do they shop? Where do they go? What do they follow on social media? Okay, these are the people we need to be driving a campaign to, and we need to host this event in a venue that's where these people go.
Right.
Does it have
parking?
Comfortable? You got to ask all these questions to know, and then then you get down to like, okay, now end goal. How many people do you want there? How much do you want to raise? Are you looking to make something off of this? Which is, that's fine too. Okay, how much? Okay, now, we follow a formula, which I call is consistency, reach, frequency, compelling content.
Okay.
It's a sales type of strategy, but we would have to follow that format to make this event happen.
What kind of time frame do you need for that? So if you've got 3 months, is that enough to pull off an event that has 1,500 people coming?
That could be tight if the person doesn't have like a really solid following.
Okay. So a solid following on social media, is it the same thing as
social
solid following
media,
on
LinkedIn,
physical presence?
Yeah, social media, LinkedIn. Why do people like you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's not about you,
but the cause.
The entity is the cause and the company, which would also be tough. We need to build people knowing what this thing is,
and develop partnerships or team ups.
So now we got to spend some time bringing awareness.
Right.
We got to go make some friends.
Yep. we call
You
it
know.
pre-sales and relationship partnering.
I call it like, yo, we gotta have some allies. We gotta have somebody who want to say
with the
something
same
nice.
mission.
Yeah. Or people who want to say something nice and think, let's see what they think. You know, let's go to a couple mixers or something like that, and you lightly put yourself out there where you may have a few shirts and it's free. And you see how people respond with what you're saying.
I think they call it a sample.
Let's do the sample, because if they're not, then we got to rechange the message.
How far in advance do you do a sample for something like that? Like, I recommend doing that 3 to 6 months before your event.
I would.
Okay.
I would, if you have everything together.
Right.
You know.
I recommend doing it before you have everything together, because I feel like you can't have everything together until you hit the sample, because you're going to learn a lot from that, and you have to make some changes.
I would, and when I say samples, like if you already have the t-shirts or if you already have this, but it's even testing out, putting your phrases out there.
And seeing how many you can sell.
And how many you sell, how many people respond back and say likes. Like for me personally, what I've been testing when it comes to my blog subjects, I went back and I looked at every post and I looked at what got the most likes.
That's right.
And what got the most comments.
That's right.
And I said, you know what, maybe I need to start with this subject. I got tons of subjects that fall into have faith, be focused, stay fly. Of course, I have things from the book that I want to talk about, but I can't give the book away either. Right. So it's like, all right, well, let me start with what
when
people
you become
are
a
really...
client, do you get a free book, maybe?
Yeah, of course. But I'm like, if I give too much, then it's like, okay, I wonder what this has to say in her formula for the book. So when I say sampling, I went back through my social media and quotes and things that I wrote, and I looked at, okay, I may have not gotten a lot of comments, but I wanted to see who responded, who gave me the pounds.
Are they your target market?
Who gave me this? And are they target? And I look at the names, and I'm like, okay, I'm targeting professionals. I'm targeting people with purpose, people who think things.
People who are fly.
people
who are staying fly.
People who are just like, how do I live with knowing that I have a greater cause, and how do I manage? But these are aha moments that we also deal with. So that's why I say the sampling, you have to look at start off with what people are going to respond to the most. And the hard truth is, you may be emotionally connected to something like, I want everybody to know this, but everybody's not going to respond to that.
So with this particular client that I have, I would love to have the worksheet. Maybe I pay you for the worksheet. I go over it with him, and then when he's ready for the actual event, I turn him over to you, and you are his event planner. That's kind of what I'm seeing with that. Is that something that could work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now on the worksheet, is there anything specific?
I think you broke it down. So that's one part that I would say for you, if I'm consulting you on how your package looks, when you have event planning on there, I would assume you have tools the same as I do.
Right.
And you may not have gotten to that point yet.
I usually do if I know what it is, I do a layout that breaks down like a couple of options.
So you just need to have a formula that you go by. And so I would say recommend the same way I do in Google Docs or Google Drive, that you upload whichever services that you have one sheet explanations that are really nice and fancy like you've got here.
Right.
And they have your brand on them, and then they also have the checklists that are involved with the prices, and you're going to restate. So basically the top of every one of these pages are going to look just like the top of this section for your rate. So if you have the influencer package, the consulting package, the event planning, you're going to have a sheet for each one of those, right?
Okay.
And that's going to have the detail of what you need from them, what they get from you for that price. And then maybe you have a second sheet that has the questionnaire that you go over in person to say, okay, well, here's what I offer you and here's what that cost, and be having a way for them to pay you is the most important thing.
Right.
How do you get paid? Up front, behind, halfway in the middle, have deposits. You have to decide all those things now. And I'll tell you from my experience, the single most important thing of advice that I can give you, 2 things: to have a clear message with clear rates, have the expectation of what you need to be successful with them and have them be successful, which is what you're developing right now. And the second most important thing is that you need to have every single way that somebody would want to pay you available to them to pay. So you take cash, check, credit card. I joke around with my clients because I have some in other countries, and I say I take it all. I take cash, check, credit card. You can give me pesos. I can convert money. I can take Venmo, the Cash App, PayPal, whatever you got, I can take it.
Yeah.
So, and I say that because I'm like, I got conversion rates, we got it low, whatever you need. We can even do financing if it needs that, depending on what the process is or the project. So I think
I have
that's
it
super
there.
important for those two things, and I think you have enough to go on. What I want to say for the last thing is that the mission needs to be clear and precise. It definitely is wonderful, but we just want to. And is that the right spot for this? Is this particular rate card
Right.
need that mission on there? For me, when I look at that, I already see that in the
Okay.
in the way that you have presented your material and what I know from just this sheet, not knowing you, but knowing this sheet, I can already tell that. So you might want to just make another separate tagline at the very bottom instead of having a mission statement. Here, I recommend moving have faith, be focused, stay fly to the top because
Yeah.
that is who you are.
Or maybe I should put this right here.
Perhaps you do. Think about that.
Yeah.
But just think about it. I want
Okay.
you to, that's your decision.
I could probably put maybe this over here and maybe minimize this. And
I
because it
recommend
put down
asking a
there or-
question over there.
Okay.
So for you, it's different than what I have. Mine's a different particular kind of rate card. But for you, I think that you're in the stage of just drawing in your initial clients. I have a client base already.
Right.
So with yours, what I would want to see when I look at that, and I'm going to say I'm looking at Natalie's rate card. I have my first sheet that goes out usually, or used to, like before I had the clients built up. It would say things like my solopreneur package, and I'll show you that. It says things like, have you found yourself wearing 9 hats in one day? Do you think that QuickBooks training is absolutely ridiculous for you and you want someone to do that for you? Have you found yourself trying to go to the bank, make sure you can interview someone? And I do a checklist of what a person who is wearing 9 hats and being everything in their own company. And I say, if you have answered yes to 5 out of any of these 12 questions, you should call me now.
Okay.
Well, the checklist is they checked yes to every single one of them because I know what a solopreneur is because I am one, right? So I know all their pain points. So when I made that list, I was like, what on a daily basis am I struggling with and how did I overcome those things? And what process can I put in place for other people to be able to use that and learn from my experience? That's what my consulting fee is. You're paying for I'm not going to age myself, but I'm going to say
So yeah,
umpteen years of experience on having 3 different businesses in service. I've learned those things and I have the formula for you.
yeah, I gotta come up with a question because I think what I may want to lean it to, and this is based on my referrals and my testimonials that people tell me, is are you a visionary struggling to organize the chaos?
Exactly. That's what goes there.
So,
That's it. And so the new word for that, I'm not sure if you've heard it, but are you a visionary looking for your integrator?
Okay.
Is the phrase that you want to use. Integrator is a key word. There's also a book that I can recommend to you that I've been listening to in the car, between meetings. An audio book.
Integrator or visionary looking for integrator.
For your integrator. Because it's an exact partnership where, and it could be an employee manager relationship, it could be a contractor entrepreneur relationship. The whole thing is, thank you. The whole thing is that the people are 2 different people. One is an implementer and one is an idea person, and it takes both to run a company.
Right.
So whether it's somebody you've hired part-time, like I do have an integrator now that's in training. And so for me, with running 3 different divisions of my company, it's been very important for me to have attention to detail, and I don't have that anymore. Now I've become such a visionary, it's hard for me to sit down and do the smaller task that someone who is in love with detail does so passionately and still gives my brand the name that it needs to have. So it's still a Global Girl Life brand, but someone's helping me carry out those details, and I approve everything. And so my team of 8 people now, I have an integrator that's going to help me with all of those things, and I'm maneuvering those relationships so that it's good for every single one of my clients and every one of my teammates.
Got it.
And anybody else who's coming on board as a vendor or an artisan. And so that's something that I think will speak volumes to your clients as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll go with something like that. And I'm basing it based on what I get from the testimonials or how I'm able to deliver the results in such a short time.
I love that. And I would even have a testimonial page that shows what their title is, who they are, and what capacity you work together, and how long ago it was. Okay. It's almost like a really cool to fly resume, basically a reference sheet. Right. And then if you can at all include their logo so that people can visually see who that is. I know you've worked with some big brands. If you can get authorization to use that brand on that testimonial sheet, I recommend it. My new website's going to have that on there with all the brands that I work with, and I'm also, as part of one of my extra packages, people can get who are my clients, can actually get branding on my site as well now with their logo.
Okay.
You can click a link and go straight to their webpage to purchase whatever it is they're selling, because I believe in them, because I've helped them get to where they are, and they had great ideas to begin with, or they wouldn't be my client.
Got it. Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. I think we've got a lot to cover, and in our next session, we will definitely review that. If you want to send it to me in the meantime,
yeah, I gotta
shoot me a text message. Let me
I'm
know
not.
it's up.
I have. I had Creative Vibe Studio do the layout.
Yeah.
So now I gotta call her and be like, hey, move this around.
Yeah,
because I'm
I got
not
my
that
people.
person. I'm like, how am I gonna move that around in that PowerPoint without destroying it?
Right, and that's the detail I'm talking about. So when you're a visionary, it's hard to get back into that mode. We can do it, but gosh, it takes like 5 extra hours.
Man.
So it's nice to have people that have great skill sets.
Yeah, like, hey, I want this there, and I want you to put each one in the bullet points.
Yep. And even I've drawn out stuff. I'm like, I'm in the middle of something. I'm in my car, and I've got a sketch pad, and I'm like, I take a notebook paper, draw it out, and then shoot a text to whoever it's going to, and then by the time I get to the office or wherever I'm going at that day, I'll have it ready, and it's amazing that can work that way. And I'm so thankful to have awesome women entrepreneurs that I work with. It's like multitask, let's get it going, let's drive it, within like 2 hours. So the funny thing was, I know we got to go, but the funny thing was is when I went to Texas, I actually designed a line of jewelry, and it was made in 2 hours, and I got on a plane with the merchandise, and I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
You designed a line of jewelry.
It's not a big line, but it's a very,
I'm very design a line of jewelry. I want to design some tennis shoes one day.
Right?
I want to design a line of watches.
We can do it. Lifestyle brand.
Like, right.
Be fly. Let's go.
Let's go. Boston brunch.
That's it. What is it, 24/7?
Mm-hmm.
Boston brunch 24/7.
Boston brunch 24/7. So that's for masterminds who enjoy experiences, day parties, rooftops, and hard chilling.
That's us.
But
cheers to that.
It's an event like this was a Boston brunch.
Did you just put your glass down?
No,
we didn't do that right.
I didn't do it right. But it's kind of like I just got a major mastermind session.
Yep.
But we created an experience. A little champagne, a little laughs.
Perfect.
But we
gift.
got
perfect gift.
Right, and then I got some good info, all of that, and it kind of just like flourished into collabs and
that's it.
Fun stuff.
Yes. Awesome. Well, let's close it down. Call it Friday night.
I know, right? Got a lot to think about.